All right, hello and welcome. I'm all fed, had my coffee and something to eat. Driven 50 miles, well actually a bit more, maybe nearly 60 miles to Oxford to drive on some really good roads. So I happened to come here with a friend of mine a few days ago in his car. We were driving and I happened to come across some really beautiful driving roads, and I thought to myself, I have to come here with the C4S. I have to come here and sample these roads for myself, and that's what we're doing. So it's a beautiful Sunday. It's quite windy, a bit cold, but I'll take what I get. It's not raining, that's the main thing. And we're in Oxford. We are in particular in a cold, I think in an area called Woodstock, near or next to Blenheim Palace. And there are some beautiful roads from what I can remember. So we're gonna go out, drive, and really just give you a review of what I think about this car and how this car really feels when it's in its element. So without further ado, let's go for a drive. So I've talked previously about owning and driving a car like this in central London and why I don't do that much driving with it, in London especially. But when it comes to roads like this is where the car really steps up and shows what it really is made out of. And that's what I love. So hopefully we'll get to some good roads and we'll just see how this car feels, especially that it's 16 years old now, and the value that it represents amongst other sort of modern cars in this segment. This is the funny thing about this car, the C4S, the 996. Because of the way the chassis is set up, it's a sports chassis. It's a sports suspension based off of the 996 turbo. It's quite a stiff ride, but on beautiful roads, smooth tarmac, bendy roads, it really comes on its own. Here we go. That's more like it. This car loves to be opened up, loves to rev to the rev limiter. It's really one of those cars that you only get the best out of it once you do that. It's not meant for slow driving. It doesn't react well. It doesn't know, it's just not adjusted for slow driving, very simply. You feel it, it's quite agitated. It's not very comfortable, especially on rough roads. So on roads like this is where it comes alive. You know, you hold the rev limiter at about 3,500 RPM, you know, and you go from there. That's really the rev band you want to be in. It's instant. At the minute it hunkers down almost when you're in that sweet spot. It hunkers down and it's so eager to go, and just a little touch of the pedal and it just flies. And that's what I love about it. It almost becomes a whole different animal, and it's constant. It's always switched on when it's in that sports mode. Now there isn't a sports button per se, but once it sort of senses you're in that mood, it drops down quickly. And that's the other thing I love about it. It's very responsive in that sense. Once you kick down, it automatically knows what you're trying to do. It holds on to the gears longer, it revs to the rev limiter, and it just goes. It's beautiful. On roads like this today, this is what I love. This is what I miss about driving this car. I miss driving on roads like this. This is the thing. I mean, I've had to drive out quite a bit out of London today. 60 miles to get against some really good roads. And to be honest with you, I didn't mind. The minute I sort of saw these roads with my friend, I figured I had to come here. The car hasn't really been driven properly in such a long time, and so I feel like I owed it to it. I needed to open it up, and that's the other thing. In London, you hardly go above 20 miles. It's frustrating, and that's another reason why I just sort of stopped driving in London. It's just not worth it. These cars aren't made to be driven like that. About the brake pedals. The brake pedals, when you're sort of touching them softly, they don't react very well. You almost feel like you don't have any brake pads left. But I had them checked recently, and you know, there's plenty of thread still left on the brake pads. So that's another thing. The car is set up almost for like you have to really push hard. It's set up for hard driving, and that's when you get the best out of the brake pads. They have to generate a lot of heat before they start working properly. So again, it goes with the nature of the car's you know, driving characteristics and where you should be driving it and how you should be driving it. And that's another thing sort of I've come to realize. So the minute you drive it how you should, it genuinely is a beautiful car. I've been looking for good driving roads in and around London. It's just I haven't been able to find many. I happened to come across this road with a friend of mine, complete coincidence, and I just thought, yes, I have to come here with the C4S and drive on these roads and reignite the passion of driving. And driving the C4S, you almost tend to forget how good these cars are. Had the car parked up for a number of years, and you tend to forget, and I almost lost the passion for driving. London tends to do that to you, especially with the roads being terrible. I mean, horrendous. The amount of potholes and just the general quality of the roads, and the car is just never at home on these types of roads. It always felt uncomfortable. Agitated is the word I want to use again. It just wasn't a comfortable ride. The suspension, I feel, is too hard for that type of environment. But here on much smoother roads, on a beautiful curvy bendy roads, it really is just a whole different animal. You drop down a few gears, and this is the other thing I want to talk about, is the Tiptronic. People talk about Tiptronics in this sort of generation, being way slow and out of date. I mean, obviously they're going to be out of date, but let's put things into context. Again, you're not a Formula One driver. You're not racing at a Formula One track where, you need, point milli of a second to change gears. So, let's just keep on this road. For the most part, they change relatively quickly. They suit the character of the car. I mean, they're not, split second fast shifts, but then again, you just sort of don't expect it to be, and that's fine. You're not in an F60 or in a 458, so it generally doesn't bother me that much. keep it in, now it's in manual, so we're doing the shifting ourselves. Beautiful. Beautiful roads. Luckily, it's shaping up to be a glorious day for the weather as well. It's nice and sunny. I love these sort of undulations in the road, and it sort of bends and sort of goes down, and then, you know, you have a nice right turn, and it's sort of progressive, and you just feel the car hunkering down and hugging that road. It's such a good feeling. You know, you hold on to third gear at 4,000 RPM, 3,500 RPM, and it's just like a hound. It is on it. The minute you just slightly touch the pedals, it's just it shoots off. And that's what I love about this car. You get it in the right spot, and it is on it. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I haven't driven on exciting roads like this, or really good roads like this, in years. Beautiful. Hopefully the camera is not shaking too much. I got this new camera mount. I hope it's good. Well, I hope you guys can hear me well. I don't have a mic, so this is straight camera mic. So I hope you guys can hear me. When it picks up and goes. I haven't enjoyed driving this much in such a long time, and I'm personally glad that I've had the chance to do this. Inject some new life into it, at least a new look. So I'll talk about that in another video.